Welcome to the Newer Radio with your co-hosts June Fargo and Just Cause.
He sent it. He's about to enter. Yo,
What up, bro?
what's good, Brody?
How you doing?
I'm good. Listen, let's get the introductions rolling. My name is June Fargo. I have my special guest here. Do you want to go? How you want to go? Because we call you Torch. Some call you Mike. We go by Vigo
Hey,
Harris.
yeah,
Then what?
yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother story, the torch thing. But yeah, man, I go by many names. It depends on what we're talking about. We're talking
Depends
about
on
beats,
who you speaking to.
yeah, video stuff, art, whatever.
Yeah, this is episode 2 of the Newer Radio, and I've got my special guest, my personal producer, and my brother. We gonna go with Vigo Harris just to surround it all, and
Yeah,
we're gonna get y'all to know him, and hopefully at the end of this and people watching this in the future, we can get y'all to lock in with him and really get some work done. So let's start with introductions, bro. Tell the people who you are, where you're from, what you do.
oh man. Well, I'm Vigo Harris, or Selfish Presley, or Then What. But I'm an artist. I do a lot of different stuff. Um, yeah, I don't know. From New York, but I grew up in Vermont. That's how I met June and a lot of other artists. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still finding stuff that I'm putting a lot of energy into. So, I mean, some people would call me a Renaissance man, but yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I've never been good at just one thing. So I wouldn't say I'm one thing first, but yeah, I'm an artist.
He's an artist, literally an artist. Like I said, I would like when people ask about you and how multi-talented you are is how I explain it to them,
Yeah,
and I let them know, I could say he's like Kanye, but at the same time I feel like calling someone Kanye nowadays is a little disrespectful just because of
yeah,
how he is in the light. So I would
yeah,
say 2005 Kanye.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go with the college dropout era, because you really do a lot when it, you know what I mean? And your
yeah.
style, I've never heard anyone make beats like you. Your rapping style, even when you're kind of singing and crooning, no one is doing it like you.
Yeah, I appreciate
So
it. I appreciate that.
now I personally know this, but a lot of people may not. So right now you're in New Mexico. Tell us a little bit about the scene in New Mexico and how it may or may not influence your current sound when it comes to your music and your beats.
I mean, New Mexico is very, very different from the East Coast. Very different from Vermont. Uh, big Mexican influence out here, which probably has a little to do with some of the samples I use. You know, I really like Spanish guitar and trumpets and stuff like that. But I'm still networking, trying to meet a lot of people out here. Met a lot of funk artists. So that's a little different, but that's more like what when I'm shooting videos.
Right.
But it hasn't affected my production. But I mean, it's always good to hear new styles, and especially if it's something you just like, you're like, why have I never heard this? And it might send me to the computer to try to do something similar to that. But yeah, it's different out here. It's a different vibe. It's hot.
I like the hot. I'm sick of the
But
cold, man. I know you're
yeah,
sick of the cold.
I love the cold, honestly.
You
I
do?
miss it. Yeah, I miss it.
Bro, I'm too dark to like the cold. Let's be real.
I don't like to be all sweaty. Plus I like cold attire. I like hoodies and
Hoodies,
jackets.
yeah.
Yeah.
Them what are they
Yeah.
called? Windbreakers, bro.
Yeah.
Windbreak.
Some 90s shit.
So, not to put you in a box, but if you were to have a specific like genre that you would classify yourself as, what would you say? Whether it's a specific like straightforward genre or even a
Like
hybrid.
my personal music,
Yeah.
I've always called it Star Trap.
Star Trap. Can
Yeah,
you
like what?
explain? Can you explain to people what you think Star Trap like sounds like, or even feels like?
Well, I say trap because of the structure of my beats and just certain drums that I use. You know, most people could argue it's trap influence, just the structure of it. It may not even be like hard drums, but just the way it's put together. And Star, because, you know, it's spacey and melodic and, yeah, dreamy.
I definitely get that
But
vibe.
yeah, I mean, that's what I have the most fun making. But, you know, I get on boom bap beats with Raw Def or something,
Yeah,
or, you know, because I'm a '90s kid, so that boom bap stuff is very like prominent in my life. But
right.
yeah, I like melodic stuff. I like melodic, mostly upbeat stuff.
Now, do you like to dabble in samples, or are you a producer that's kind of like, nah, like samples are oversaturated. Let's just do
I
something original.
I used to feel that way. I used to feel like I can't. My homie Seth back in the day, he had a website that he would go on to see
Right.
who flipped this sample already, and seeing that was very discouraging. It was
Because
like,
it'd be like a
especially you
lot of
see a big
people.
name like you said Kanye, you see Kanye already flipped the sample. It's like it almost be disrespectful to try to do that.
Right.
So I used a lot of one shots back in the day and would just create a melody, you know, get like a piano one shot and just create my own melody. But recently I've been using a lot of samples, so I kind of do both. If
You've
I
been making
can,
some.
I like to manipulate as much as I can because I don't want it to just be like all I did was lay some very simple drums. It doesn't really feel like my beat then. So yeah, I
Right.
used to not like samples. Now I don't mind it. Sometimes it's needed.
I definitely feel that. I feel like sometimes more recently than anything, samples are like very oversaturated. When things like mostly with viral things, because I feel like it's kind of a crutch. Some
Yeah,
things
yeah,
it's needed, but I feel like someone's like, oh, this was a poppin' song back in the '80s. Let me just take this
right,
sample, throw it on a drill beat, and guess what? We got a hit. And it's not even
right.
the song itself. I feel like it's the reminiscing on the past, like, oh, that song was popping back in the day.
Yeah,
So I'm vibing with
I
that.
think if you're there, like there should be a certain amount of work done for every song. So if you didn't do a lot of work on the beat, but you put in the extra, you know, 60% to make it a full song, then you know it's kind of warranted. So that's what I mean by sometimes it's like that's all it needs. Like
Right.
don't add any more to the beat because I have this idea for it. But no, I definitely have been hearing that a lot lately with the drill music. Like just literally a song I grew up with, and they just put drill drums to it.
Yep.
Might even keep the hook,
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't,
Like,
I
what's
don't know.
this? This futuristic song?
Right. Well,
You know what I'm
we're
saying?
in that era where it's just so much more accessible to do stuff, and it kind of creates this vibe of, you know, let's just do it right now.
Right.
When we know, like, we grew up with, you heard like an artist didn't drop an album for the last 2 3 years, and what you hear feels new, but it's like they spent the last 5 years working on this album,
Right.
and now it's like, when did you record this? Like last week or
Or
yesterday.
even
Sent it to my
today.
guy,
I just
and
hopped on BandLab
yeah,
and I'm dropping it on
yeah,
SoundCloud right now.
exactly. Mixed it myself, dropped it.
Yep. And that's
So
how it is.
it's weird. It can be good, but yeah.
So you're very talented and
Appreciate
clearly, you know, you've been doing this a while. Give us a little bit
it. Yeah.
about your backstory. You know, what got you into music? Where did it all start? What influenced you?
So
Let the people know.
um I was actually thinking about this the other day. Bad music inspired me. I've always loved
Right.
music. You know, I've always felt a certain connection it felt like meeting somebody and you feel this vibe with them, and it turns out they're your brother the whole time. You know what I mean? Like now that I make music, it makes sense that I've always loved music so much.
Yeah.
I was just missing that bridge of being closer to it. But it was high school that I went to the audio engineering class, and I told the teacher that I was like, I want to take this class. And he's like, well, what are you trying to get into? And I was like, I want to learn how to make beats. And he's like, then you don't need to take this class. And he gave me the demo disc of FL Studios. And so since like 15, 16, I've been like just self-teaching myself how to use the program. And Brad Vasey can attest to that, because when we first started, linking up and doing music together, he saw all of my habits. He saw how like I'd go out of my way to pull up the same window that he's like, there's a button for that. So like I never had anyone around me to,
Coaching you.
tell me that stuff.
Yeah.
But luckily FL is pretty easy to use. I went back to the class a couple times to ask the guy, just a couple basic things. Like I was putting everything on the pattern, and I was like, how do I make this longer? And I figured out how to extend the pattern itself, but I'd have like these 23-second beats. So he put me on to, this is how you actually put the beat together and make it, longer. Yeah, and ever since then, I just kind of been doing that. And maybe like 5 years of just making beats, like just for fun, kind of tried to reach out to a couple people. But I was definitely lacking at the time. And then when I moved to Burlington, I stopped making beats altogether and got into rapping. And I met this kid, Seth, and he was a producer, and he was making way better beats than I could make at the time. And then it wasn't really till I moved back to Southern Vermont that I got like heavily back into making beats. I got my own laptop, because I was making beats on my mom's computer
Right.
at first. So yeah, I got back into it, and I met who did I link with first? Mad Scatter, and I've known him. I grew up with him, and we talked about how I'm rapping now. Send me a couple beats or whatever. And I was like, man, I sent him some beats. That's how I met Raw Def, because he heard some shit. So I sent him some beats. And then pretty shortly after that, I met you and Breeze. But yeah, it wasn't crazy like the start of it, like how I got into it. My parents aren't into music like that. It was really just, like I was saying, just kind of this blind, like, I don't know why, but I want to do this. And then mixed with hearing artists like Soldier Boy and being like, I think I could do that.
Right.
Because this guy's so successful, and his beat sounds like he don't even know what he's doing.
Like a
Oh, it
5-year-old,
sounds
bro.
so basic. Like someone was like, you want me to show you how to? And he's like, no, just stop. I got it.
Let me do it.
Right. So that was a pretty big chunk of my mindset, was like, because you're always seeing the end result of things. We see, pro skaters or like motocross riders doing tricks and stuff, and you're like tricked into thinking like, I could never do that, because we don't see that they've been practicing for years and years. Something in our brain is like, unless I could be that good tomorrow, I don't even want to like try to get into that. So seeing something that felt so much like I could do that really pushed me to be like, all right, I'm gonna make beats. I was always the kid beatboxing so people could rap, or banging on the table. So yeah, so it was cool that the teacher from the audio engineering class gave me that CD, because that really pushed me. Otherwise, I probably I probably never would have made beats.
So after hearing this, we've heard a lot of Vermont names: Breeze,
Yep.
Jibba, Vasey,
Yeah.
Rod Def, Mad
Yep.
Scatter. What is your relationship with Vermont artists? Because I've seen, a lot of unity,
Yeah.
and then I've also seen a lot of distress in the community with Vermont artists.
Well, I'm pretty neutral. You know what I mean? Because I'm more of a producer, really. Even though I've been writing, and people from Burlington, they know me as a rapper, not a producer. But I'm the guy who I give you beats, and you kind of don't really hear from me after that. So I'm kind of linked with most Vermont artists, and I do have a tie to northern Vermont as well as southern Vermont. So and I'm not really part of a clique or anything, but yeah, I mean, I think if I just rapped, it'd be different. But because I make beats and I'm pretty versatile, I can kind of link with anybody. So I have a good relationship with pretty much everyone that I know in the music scene there.
Gotcha. Now, I kind of have a mainstream question. What is your thoughts on the Kendrick Lamar and the Drake situation? I had to, bro. I
Oh
had
man,
to.
yeah,
Specifically you, because you really you don't play that shit. So
yeah.
you're not afraid to
I
just say it.
I love I love battle rap, love battle rap, and I love competition, and I feel like people forget. First I heard of this, I laughed because people seem to forget that Kendrick has already done this. He's already shook up the culture with his whatever verse he did, where he said he was the king of New York.
Oh, a while back
Yeah,
when he
way
first was
back.
dissing Drake, I think in like
He did some
2018 or
things,
19.
just
He dissed a
being,
bunch of people. Yeah.
just going back to, saying things like I'm the best. Now I think it's funny, and I can see it for what it is and enjoy it
Control. It was
because
called
I
Control.
know the control verse effects. I know that art is subjective, and there is no this person is the best. There's none of that. The only way it would be that way is if two or three people did the exact same song, same beat, same lyrics. Then we could judge who
Who's
maybe
better?
performed it better, but even then, it's all preference. So I don't know them personally, of course. So I don't know. I like it. I like what it's doing. I like competition. I think there should be more of it, especially if it doesn't turn into, a violent situation.
Right.
But I don't have a winner. I did see a reel the other night of some guy explaining that Kendrick kind of was more diverse with all the songs he drops. Like they all sound very different from each other, which is it's a good point. But it's like, what are we judging? Is that how is a rap beef supposed to go? That you
See, I
could be
think
like, oh, he won because he dropped more songs. I think it's like I said, I love both of them. I'm not on one side,
right.
I'm kind of like that across the board. I've never had one favorite anything, so I'm just happy that two of my favorite artists are dropping song after song after song when we
I
usually
think what it comes
have to
down
wait
to
for
is
something.
legacy. I think it comes down to legacy and what's left behind. Because we can look at Fat Joe and 50 Cent. We can look at Nas and Jay-Z.
Yep,
We can look at Drake and Meek.
yep.
We can look at
Easy and Ice Cube, Easy.
right. And I think in this situation, I don't want to say one or the other one because they both like Family Matters bodied that.
Yeah, that was
But
fire.
then but I feel like Kendrick came in and he beat Drake at his own game because Kendrick made a hit and a hit that
Yeah,
unified a culture. You have Bloods Crip walking. You've
absolutely.
got people
Right
saying
here,
turn
but
that shit off and put that Kendrick on in the club.
right, but this is what I mean about it's subjective
Right.
because if it didn't happen that way, and they just picked regular ass beats and kept it, I'm better than you, no, I'm better than you, we wouldn't be discussing that.
No.
What you're speaking on is the fact that Kendrick is talented. I don't think he could make a song that you're like, man, that was trash. I'm not feeling that. There's still something there. That's why I was saying it's very versatile. All the songs he dropped, they're all different. So it's like, but Drake has dropped hits too. You just you don't call them hits in this scenario.
Right.
And we don't know, was Drake going into it being like, I gotta diss Kendrick, but I also gotta make this a song that they want to play in the
Exactly.
club. We don't know that. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
So I think it's just it happened that way, because Kendrick's a great artist. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the idea of the more I entertain that conversation, the more it feels like I have to say one of them won. One of them is better than the other one.
Right.
I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
I literally I have a playlist of all the diss tracks and J. Cole's. I play them regularly because I'm like,
Yo,
this
I'm mad.
is so
He
dope.
took 7 minute drill off DSPs.
And I got it. I
It was
downloaded
good.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
hell yeah.
downloaded it.
Rip it off YouTube.
Bro,
People are gonna keep
he's like Gandalf. Like, he's so powerful, bro. He's such a good writer. Clearly, that he's like, I don't even want to. Let me simmer
right.
down. He went Super Saiyan, and then was like, you know what? I don't want to hurt
Bro, he
anybody.
got a good heart
That's what
because
I mean. But yeah,
a lot
absolutely.
a lot of people sit here and like, oh, he's not part of the big three no more. He a pussy. Nah, bro, because if you think about it, bro, on a real human standpoint, if people are in your ear, oh, you gotta body, like if someone's like, oh, June, Breeze put out a diss track, you gotta body him, you gotta shit on Breeze,
Right.
fuck Breeze, and I put one out, I would feel the same way, man.
Absolutely.
I would
What
put
am I
out an
doing?
apology and I would take that shit on because that shit will not sit
Right.
right with me.
Plus, you're dealing with three guys that are very successful,
Right.
and wealthy. So you gotta. When does it stop being promo and turn into something else?
Right.
So if I
Like,
could justify that this is great, that regardless of what they're saying, they keep bringing our names up, and that's what it's really about. And I'm not mad at that because I know the industry is like that,
right.
and I know the industry has set up rap beefs to sell records. You know,
We all know.
so
Well, us as artists know, but a
that's what
lot
I
of the
mean. I'm just a
yeah.
consumer. I don't know them personally to feel any differently other than this is dope. He dropped another one? Oh shit, let me look this up.
Right. How
No?
fast they were dropping them, bro.
Exactly.
Kendrick
Exactly.
dropped, Drake
And
dropped, and Kendrick dropped. Back,
and
back, back.
that's a beautiful thing that they can do that without their labels being like, you can't drop another song. We
We need
gotta
6 months
wait.
to clear this.
Right. They're just dropping shit. So that's cool to me because you know what I mean? Most artists can't do that. They gotta go ask daddy, can I drop?
Kendrick
You know what
Lamar
I mean?
is the greatest artist, but on this one he lost, bro. I
But
don't
what does
think
that mean? That's what I'm saying. What does that even?
that's
What did he?
that's
How
that's
did he lose when everyone is talking about him? Both of them got millions of views. Who? How did they
they
lose?
both
Nobody.
won. When it comes
This
down,
is
they both won. Their streamings went up.
right.
Money's going into their pocket.
Right.
How do you lose?
But
It's
this
like these
is
boxing matches. Like, okay, Ryan may have
right.
lost, but
No,
he's
no, no.
still
But
leaving with
even
12
but
mil.
that's a bad example because you can get knocked out, and there's a point system. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
physically going head to head, and there is the way to determine this guy lost because he either hit me less times or he got knocked out. And I'm
No, no,
not
no. I mean, like, they're
knocked
both
out.
leaving
I
with
won.
money
No, no, no.
regardless.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm saying that's a good and bad analogy. I'm using the fact that you brought up boxing to say how this isn't that. They both made different songs and came at each other. So it sounds like people already liked who they liked. and you're using this beef to enhance your argument that this person's better. But what the fuck does that even mean?
Right.
What are you talking about? How could either of them be better than each other? They make different music. They're literally different human beings.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
See, that's
It's
why I
fun
wanted to
though. I
get you
get
up
it. It's
here.
fun. It's just like sports. You know what I mean? You want to talk your shit. You want to say my team's better than your team, even
Mine's
if
got more
they
championships.
lost, right? But
We
there's
got
so
more
many other
rings.
factors and stuff. It's not as
Right.
simple as this guy's better than this guy. It's never that simple.
Hell no.
I don't know. That's how I feel though. And again, I love both of them, bro. The homie Face One put me on to Kendrick.
Phase one?
I don't think I would have heard of him when I did or liked him. But the homie, and I could say that I didn't think he knew me like that, but he's an artist himself. And he said straight up, you have to listen to this guy. I know you'll like him. And that was when Section 80 was out. And I instantly felt that. I was like, this my dude right here. I fuck with Kendrick. I fuck with everything he's saying. He's different. But again, it just seems weird to me. Maybe I'm weird, but it just seems weird to say this guy's better than this guy.
Nah, bro, that's your
They
straight
do
up
different
opinion,
shit.
and that's what I want. I want the real and raw,
Yeah.
no Diddy.
Yeah, that's
You know
how
what
I
I'm saying?
feel.
Because a lot of people would probably just come up here and be like, "Oh, Drake sucks. Drake
Right,
always
but
gonna
you
lose."
didn't like Drake.
Exactly.
You never liked Drake, and now you're
Exactly.
just using this to be like, see,
Just
he
more fuel
won.
for my
Yeah,
fire.
exactly,
I
bro.
hate a
You
man that
probably don't
I've
even listen to
never
Drake.
met and doesn't even know I exist.
Also, why do you hate stuff that? Why are you listening to stuff you
Bro,
don't like? Why are you
they
spending
be
any
up
energy
late
talking
night.
about shit you don't like?
They be like, Drake just dropped. Let me listen to it so I can tell you how
Yeah,
much it
bro.
sucked.
I'm not
Like, what?
I'm not on anyone's fucking channel in the comment section like song fucking sucks.
Bro.
You need to go back to the '05 version of you. Like, what are
Right.
you doing, bro?
But
Go listen. You know what you could do to spend that time better? Find more artists you like. What are you
exactly.
doing? Or I don't know, go do something, man. Go for a walk.
Bro, go touch grass
Yeah, facts. Take your shoes off, sit down in the grass,
and
and
think.
don't think about Drake.
Think about your
I mean,
life, not
yeah,
Drake.
exactly.
This man
Also,
has enough money to fund generations.
until you're at that level, like J. Cole could probably speculate. He could probably articulate who he feels is better and why. And that would be a better argument than he just sucks. That guy
That's all they can
sucks.
say is they just
All
suck.
he does is
Why?
talk
Because I
about
don't like
this
his
and
music. That's
right.
why.
And he used to be an actor on a show.
He's not
Okay?
even
He's
real. This rap
not
career,
even real.
scripted.
No one's real, man. They're all controlled by fucking lizard
Scripted.
people in the government.
Sitting at home with your Mountain Dew and your tin hat. Come
Right.
on, man.
Yeah, when it's in a
You know, bro, what is your thoughts about AI? AI
oh no.
has just intruded our lives.
Yeah.
People are using AI to get a lot of people in trouble. There was this whole situation where this gym teacher was getting fired, and he used the principal's voicemail as AI and basically said a whole bunch of racial things, got him terminated. A
Whoa.
teacher sent it out on TikTok to some students. The students blew it up on TikTok. It went viral, and it came back that the principal didn't even do it. Ruined his whole life. He had to have 24-hour police at his house because of death threats. It
How
ruined
did
his life.
how do you prove it's not you?
So they basically pinged the IP address of the voicemail because it was a whole court situation, and it was the gym teacher who was stealing money from his budget, and his contract was about to be up.
I think it
I
should
can send you the story later, but
I think it should be illegal to use your likeness like that. I
right.
think you should have to approve that. But I mean, it's stuff like that is my only concerns. Otherwise, there's a lot of things that AI could help with, you know. But yeah, again, I don't feel a way. I never feel a way when I'm suspicious that someone's trying to get me to feel a way. AI has yet to directly affect me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like they're talking about charging people to use the self checkouts at Walmart now because people are stealing too much. Just take them out then. Take
Right.
them
You have
out
cashiers.
and no problem, and bring the cashiers back. You still have all the registers.
They do.
You know what I mean? So my mind just goes to, I'm sure there'll be an obvious way to avoid that problem for me if it comes up. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm anyone that someone's going to use my voice to do something to make people think I said something I didn't say. But
Exactly.
that is scary for sure.
It is. There's a scam going around where you'll get like a call from like a random number and you'll say hello and they'll ask you like, is this
Oh,
like
to
so
get
and
you to
so, and you'll be like,
say
yes, and they
certain
capture
words.
your voice and then they
Oh
use it
my
for all the,
god!
yeah, bro, that's
Then it's
another one. That's what I'm
literally
saying.
you, right? But black people know we don't answer the phone if we don't know the number, right? I
That's what
mean,
I'm
most
saying.
people know. Don't pick it up. I'm gonna let it go to voicemail.
If it's that important, you'll leave a voicemail. That's my like rule of thumb.
Exactly. Why are you picking up, talking to a stranger, answering a bunch of questions? You see what I'm saying?
Hang up the phone. Get off the
This is what I
phone.
this is what I mean. You're already thinking of a simple solution to not be fucked that way. So that's how I
Exactly.
feel about it. I feel like, well, hopefully that doesn't happen to me, but I don't think it will.
But there's too many people
But
out there it's gonna happen
but I
to, and
think
it's
stuff
sad.
should be automated. I think there's a lot of shit that could be easier that a robot could do, and then in turn, a different physical job opens up for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some place where we need more people. We need more people to work this thing, but we don't really need people for this thing. So let's automate that. Let's get a computer to do that one thing. I don't know.
What direction do you think hip hop is headed? You know, we being born in the 90s, you know, the first things I really listened to was like Biggie and the Fugees,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know,
So,
2000s hit, and then like, you know, I'm like 10 years old and 50 Cent's right here, and he's like 50 Cent was
mhm.
like G.I. Joe for me, man. Like
Yeah,
Get Rich or Die
yeah,
Trying. He had the
100%.
games.
He
And
was
then, you
dope.
know, the teens, we had like the Lil Wayne, the Drake, the YMCMB. We had the clicks,
One
YMCMB,
hundred
Day
percent.
26, MMG. Where do you think hip hop's going, man?
I think music in general is always moving in a circle, and that's why we see stuff come back or stuff gets sampled, or pretty much any new thing you could hear. Somebody could be like, you know where that's from, right? You know they got it from this.
Right.
So I I don't know more than that. As far as we'll probably see things that used to be a thing come back, maybe a better version of it. But I'm honestly curious to see when our favorite artists start labels themselves, like actual labels, not what's the word, subsidiaries of
Right.
major labels,
Like
like
little
actual, like
branches
this
and
is the
stuff.
label. No one's above this. We're not part of Interscope. We're
We're
our
our own
own
entity.
label. Right, we're back to, or not, I guess not back to, but where we're finally at a place where, artists are picking artists. Artists are pushing artists, and not just some dude who knows the business side of things. Because that's where everything always gets messed up. When you have one guy who's just thinking about the money, just do this because that'll, generate money, and he doesn't care about, well, I'm going to lose my fan base, or this might not be good. So I look forward to that, seeing people like actually be in bigger positions, and what that might create, what type of artists we might see from that.
I like that answer. I got one last question for you before we wrap this
For
up.
sure.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave? I feel like you've planted your seeds in Vermont, you've planted them in New Mexico.
Yeah,
I feel like you're in the conversation in all these areas, of like videographers. Like, we got Sammy Chan, we got
yeah,
Then What,
yeah,
oh, we need beats. We go to Vigo Harris, you know what I mean? You've really solidified yourself and you're constantly in these conversations.
yeah.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave?
I think I still want to like push my name more because I still have conversations with, people in areas that I frequent that are like, oh, you made that beat? I didn't know that was you. I thought you just did this thing. Oh,
Right.
I thought you just did video stuff. So there's still definitely, more ground to cover as far as people really knowing whether they want to work with me or not, knowing like, you know, Mike is a great artist to work with and he's put in a lot of work. Look at this. I just produced a whole project with Mavstar. Me and Shorty Bang, we're working on our second album
So
together.
Frito too?
Yeah, I think, you know, I've always wanted to be like a Pharrell or a Timbaland where I'm people don't come to me just for one thing. They just know I'm creative. I can get on whatever level you're on and help you make a great song or a great project and not be like, well, Mike makes trap beats, so if I want trap beats, I'll go to Mike. But other than
Exactly.
that, I want people to know that like I'm just a good producer. And we don't really have that anymore. I mean,
No.
since Southern production, like 808 Mafia, Metro Boomin, since like the South production like expanded, everyone wants to sound like a variation of that. So I don't know. I guess I just whatever that means, whatever I have to do to just be known for my work in general and not be labeled as something would be great. I've never I never wanted to be like a big rock star or be like crazy rich and famous. But I'd love to be known enough to make a good amount of money. You know what I mean? Support what I do, put more money back into what I do, and yeah, just be known for what I've been doing.
I got you. I really like that answer, bro.
Yeah, and
Um,
anything beyond that, I've talked to you. I've talked with a lot of people about artist development. I'd love to get into that, more professionally, because I'll be in my friends' ears, not as much now, but about like let me make that song artwork for you, not because I'm the greatest, but because what you picked is taking away from your song.
right.
And I'd love for more artists to know how important those other little things are. How you title your song, what your artwork looks like all these little micro things that get people to click. I would love to put people onto that stuff if I could.
We got to sit down like one day and really like, because I know, I mean, some people know me and you are working on a project right now,
Yeah,
but we should sit down one day and really figure out how we can get you in those positions because I know you know this more than I do. There's just a lot of people that are artists that are just set in a certain way,
yeah.
and you can't tell them
I
nothing.
was just gonna say that.
Can't tell
Yeah,
them anything.
yeah. That's it's very like a rapper arrogance. Like you're taking how you feel about your craft and placing it across the board where you're never gonna learn anything. And that's why I feel so strong about art is subjective. You you can always get better, and of course, you could argue like, oh, that painting isn't that good because you just started. But yeah, I don't know, man. Pe- People need to grow up and learn to take advice and seek that advice even, and not be afraid to admit, like, I don't know what I'm doing in this aspect of things.
Right.
And money
There's
is a
nothing
big
wrong
thing
with it.
too. People don't want to pay. People don't want to invest. They want to stick with, oh, well, my buddy makes okay beats and he don't charge me, so I don't really want to pay that much for a beat or something. That's a lot of things, but yeah, I don't know, man. Well, I just need to keep, making waves and finding more people that want to work. I even find some people, just like didn't think they could hit me up or something, or sometimes it's a lot of stuff, but I think I just need to keep pushing and building this catalog, and these conversations will get easier, and I'll reach more people, and I want people to want to work with me.
Man, I see you having a bright future.
I
We got a
appreciate
lot of
that.
work.
You
We
too,
got a
man.
lot of work to do, man.
You too, bro.
Not even just me and you, man. We got,
Since
this
best
is,
for you, bro. Since best for you, I knew you're gonna be somebody, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
For sure.
More than you think. But I'm not gonna hold you up too much more, but I definitely want you to come back on the podcast. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
for
get
sure,
this
man.
all situated. I want you to plug yourself, man. Tell people where they can find you, what you're working on, what you got coming, and like this is gonna go up on YouTube. It's gonna go everywhere. So anything you want to say to people that are gonna scroll down and eventually find this, anything, wisdom,
Yeah,
anything.
well, I think I changed all my handles to Vigo Harris, and it's Vigo. Everyone says Vago. It's Vigo.
I'm gonna chop like your Instagram and stuff at the end of the video so
Yeah,
people will
bro.
actually see what your page looks like
Yeah, it's
too.
Vigo Harris on everything. Vigo Harris TV on YouTube. Like I said, we got Sofrito 2 coming out. Me and June here are working on some shit. Working on a project with a cat named Humble from Northern Vermont. What else do I got going on? I'm slowly working on my own project, Insomnia. I did drop a single, but slowly putting together that album. But yeah, I'm taking
Where's
on
your
new
single
projects.
located?
I think it's only on YouTube, maybe on SoundCloud too.
Okay,
But
because I'm gonna
called
grab
Float.
it and I'm gonna throw it in on
Yeah, it's
this.
called Float by Selfish Presley.
All right.
But yeah, man, always working, and you'll know when I put it out there. But just stay tuned.
It's the man, the myth, the legend. This is episode 2 of the Newer Radio. This is my brother, Selfish Presley, Vigo Harris. Then what? The Human Torch. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I appreciate you coming
I
up here,
appreciate
brother.
you, man.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day, man.
So.
252, 252, 252.